Alright, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Lou, back again with another video. And I think I want to title today's video Police and the People in Power. This is a video I've been wanting to make for a while, but I was reminded a few days ago by a gentleman who commented, or maybe a female, I don't know. I want to say a gentleman, but a person who commented on my YouTube channel saying, if you bring this up in court, they will section you. The court is absolutely part of it. Nothing you can show them with they accept as evidence of organized stalking. I want to say he meant to say that nothing you can show them will they accept as evidence of organized stalking, or they won't accept anything that I show them as evidence. And then he says the only way is to block them out by any means possible. You can't beat them at their own game on their court. To be honest, I have overwhelming evidence, so I'm already aware of that, right? They know I have overwhelming evidence. Literally, one of my phones that I recorded the evidence of me reacting, because that's what I did. I reacted to the organized mobbing and gang stalking, but I intentionally reacted and unintentionally reacted. It was out of frustration, but I made sure that I had already had all of the evidence necessary, right? So even while I was recording, I let them harass me first. And then in my frustration, I went, because they didn't want to stop. I went and I reacted. And I waited. I didn't stop the recording. The police actually stopped the recording. Right? I was recording them. They had their body cam recording me. I told the cop and everything, hey, he asked me why I did it. I said I didn't want to hurt anybody. So this is why I took the actions that I did instead, because they were building up my frustration due to organized mobbing and gang stalking. I told that to the cop when he came. That is on my phone. All of that is recorded. The cops that came and everything, I recorded up until the point that they put me into handcuffs. I literally did not stop the recording. They actually must have stopped the recording when they took the phone from me. Right? So my phone is in their possession. Of course, this is something that hasn't been addressed, not even in my paperwork or anything. But my phone is in their possession. The only thing that they've said about evidence is that one of the neighbors who were harassing me have evidence of what I did on their doorbell camera. That's it, right? So when he tells me, that they're not going to take these things as evidence, I know that. I already know the police are a part of it. I've tried before, when I was trying to, just get Amazon to pay me back the money that they stole from me. I tried to get lawyers and things like that. They tried to deter me, so I know the lawyers are part of it. Doctors are part of it. My doctor, Janelle Gengar, she's a part of this organized mobbing and harassing thing, Co-workers and managers and things like that. I already know. I've experienced it all already. This has been going on for years, right? So when you tell me that, it's nothing new, right? The lady, right after I told my probation officer that I wanted to go to trial instead of do the ARD program, because they continue to harass me, They're trying to do all of this astral projecting into your dream and all of these things. You might not believe it to be real, but either it's that or MK Ultra technology. Pick one. It's very real though. Both of them. But they want to do all this witchcraft and things like that. Right? And this lady, Kristen Cooper, literally the next day after my probation officer, Ryan, tried to sideswipe me in the courtroom, blindside me in the courtroom by saying that the reason that I was ending my ARD program or terminating it was because of mental health issues, which that's something I'm going to address in court, because now we have to get into my medical history, which is going to go even further back, because it's going to bring problems with Dr. Gengar, because I've told her many things that she purposefully ignored, right? That goes actually even further back into 2015, right? But my probation officer, Ryan Fatts, I told her weeks ago, hey, I think around like September 20th to the 23rd or something like that, hey, I want to cancel the ARD program because I'm out of a job. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a home. Technically, this is not my home. This is a handler, Z Hung's home. You know what I'm saying? They tried to make it so that you know, your options of living are limited unless you're just gonna live outside. You know what I'm saying? And I was staying outside before the police came back to start harassing me again, telling me, "Oh, didn't you stay over there? Why don't you go back?" So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to do the lesser of two evils. It's not really the lesser of two evils. He's a disgusting individual, to be honest. But may God bless him. May he find Jesus Christ. You know, but I had told my probation officer, Ryan Fats, hey, I wanted to terminate it for those reasons. You know, I'd be homeless, I'd be jobless because of the organized mobbing and harassment. And then literally, once my neighbors called the cops on me after the black bag job thing, you know, their paranoia sparked up that I might react again to them still continuously, even after the first instance harassing me. They called the cops on me. And then my probation officer, Ryan Fats, was the one who actually expedited the process of going to trial. You know what I'm saying? Under the guise, now that it was due to a mental health issue. So if she had a mental health, if someone reported to her that I had a mental health issue, it would be the cop who the day before or 2 days prior, I believe, must have put in the police report, who was also trying to gaslight me. This is what I'm saying. I was recording these things, right? Who was also trying to gaslight me. So I already know the cops are in on it. My neighbor across the street actually works in the criminal building. She works in the Northampton County courthouse. You know what I'm saying? So you're not telling me anything new. Trust me, I already know that there's military veterans and all of that participating in this. That's a lot of the majority of the people who are doing this. Like, now it's dwindled down, you know what I'm saying? Because they know I had the evidence that where it's mostly like old military veterans and old people who are more susceptible to just, you know, that old school, you know, just going around following people type of thing, who are more susceptible to the mind control. Either them or kids. You know, they'll send out kids to go and follow you. You know, before it was like a little bit of everybody, but I was getting too much evidence. You do too many people, too many people slip up. But the fact of the matter is, I have plenty of evidence, regardless of what they have in my phone, what's on my social media. Literally, all they can do is just shut things down. But then if you do that, you're gonna have to explain why you are isolating me. And of course, it's their agenda. Like you said, even if they have lawyers and things like that, the only card that they can play is a mental health card. And even that, like I said, I want to address that in the courtroom, in the court setting, right? Because you have so many people in power. This is why I said it's going to be called the police and the people in power. My neighbors across the street calling the police because they think that the police are going to defend them because the police are part of the harassment. And I've told the police, right, when my probation officer tried to blindside me with the mental health thing, this lady, Kirsten Cooper, came saying, "Oh, you know, you've experienced a lot of trauma. You know, I just wanted to give you a card so you could reach out to you." As you see, she's like the community advocate. Who reported this to a community advocate to where I need to, right? If I'm the problem, why did you come to me saying that I was experiencing trauma? See, that doesn't make sense. Their story already doesn't make sense, right? So the cop had to say something to you about it, right? Or he must have told you that I was being organized mob. How did I become the victim of trauma? Right? If they were the ones, my neighbors across the street were the ones who called the police on me, how did I become a victim of trauma? Because they know it's true. Like I said, their story doesn't line up, doesn't add up or anything. It's literally going to be, just like he said, them accepting the evidence, except for I did not go to the police, you know what I'm saying, to get this. I didn't call the police. They called the police on me. So I'm literally just going to defend myself. I can't ignore them. This is a legal matter now. It's on my record, right? Even though it's a misdemeanor, it's on my record. Now, if you ask me why I did what I did and I tell the truth, it becomes that. Unless you're telling me to lie, I'm not doing that anymore, right? I've come to Christ and I've promised myself and Christ that I wouldn't lie. And I've been saying even before that, I'm not going to tell not one single lie in the courtroom, right? But yes, the police already know. I've already told them every time they've come to me, oh, you know, this is a result of organized mob and harassment. They're more focused on everybody else. They never ask what is organized mob and harassment. Actually, the police officer who must have reported to my probation officer I even showed him the list of harassment techniques, and he's just ignored it for the most part. He's like, "Oh my God, is that even a list from Pennsylvania? You're being vague. You're being." I'm like, "Bro, I'm showing you a whole list. Are you not a police officer? If I show you an entire list, you couldn't tell me if that was a part of if that counts for harassment in Pennsylvania? Isn't that your job? Part of your job to know that much at least?" Like I said, he didn't want to look at it, and I don't expect for them to look at it. I even told the judge the day that me and my probation officer went to go and terminate me from the ARD program, that no, the reason why it was terminated was not as she stated. I told the judge that. You know what I'm saying? And he just kind of, because he asked me, he was like, so tell me about yourself, right? After she said, that we're terminating the ARD program, based on mental health issues. Because somebody clearly reported that, which would be, I would imagine, the officer before or herself, right? And I caught her because, see, I recorded it weeks before when I had asked her myself to terminate me from the ARD program. You see? And when we were in the room that day, we were supposed to just talk about what happened, but that's when she terminated it. She's like, "Oh, you still want to terminate it? And we have to do it right now," right? That way she could go and get her lie done. But I recorded it. Again, everything they say, I don't trust them. I told her and the detective there, I don't trust them. I posted it on my Facebook, right? They can go and look at these things. I don't mind, because their crimes far exceed mine, right? But if what he said, I already know. Of what this gentleman who commented, I already know. I don't expect there to be a justice system. Not really. This is why I turn to God for my justice. He is the justice. He's the only judge. Right? No matter what they do to me, whether they try to plan to put me in jail, incarcerate me, institutionalize me, section me, whatever, I don't care. Kill me, you know what I'm saying? Because, they still try to do the threats and stuff. I have the proof of all of the things that I said. It will literally be a matter of the judge just going, "Oh, yeah, no." I'm literally going there to show people, right, that there's no justice system. And of course, they're probably going to delete all of this by the time anyway, right? Because they've already been deleting evidence. I have evidence of them deleting evidence. So they're going to have to go back. Now you're going to have to go to Facebook, the people of Facebook. And why did you delete all of that? Did the police delete all of that? You know what I'm saying? The people themselves who, they tried to unsend messages and things like that after telling me, "Oh, X and X is a Freemason," and things like that. I have that much. But it's literally just going to become them not listening to me. Like not allowing me to even show them the evidence. Because if it's about showing them the evidence, they won't be able to refute it. Many people can just look on my social media and be like, "Oh yeah, dang, you lied, you got caught up in your lie." Like they can look on my social media and see how many people, I caught them in their lie, all the techniques and tactics, you know what I'm saying? I've listed it, categorized it based off of the harassment technique list and things like that. I have most of each and every one, I think, except for the black bag job. The only thing with the black bag job is I know that it happened. I just haven't caught the person physically in the house. I've had the night that they called the police on me, a person broke in, and I told the cop that. This is why I said I recorded it. I told the cop that. I was like, somebody broke in, and I started recording. I didn't go hurt anybody. I didn't run across the street or do anything. The neighbors pulled up at the same time when the UPS truck pulled off. The neighbors pulled up, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, he's outside recording," and then they started to do their noise pollution campaign. And then I did call the neighbor across the street a pussy, because I call him pussy boy, because that's what he is. Let's face it. Let's be honest, right? He's a coward. But, other than that, I didn't hurt anybody, you know what I'm saying? But I already know the cop is going to harp on what I said when I recorded it. Because when I said in the first video, right after the black bag job, before the police get here, I said, if someone else breaks into my house and I catch them, I was like, I'm killing half the people on this block, right? Nobody heard me say that, but I showed it to the cop. But when he saw that video, he didn't mention the black bag job or anything. He was harping on to that. He's like, "Yes, I found something that I could use on this guy. Yeah, he said he's going to kill half of the block," right? Now, if I go to court, obviously I didn't kill half the block. Obviously, when you get angry, you say things, but that's what they're gonna harp on. But they're not gonna harp on why I said it. I understand this already, because the reason why I said it is due to a reaction from the organized mobbing and gang stalking. You see, and then it would just make my point even more. Like I said, what I did pales in comparison. Like I said, it's just a misdemeanor that I really could have just let slide on the ARD program. But the problem is they persist to do it. They want to make you docile. If you don't stand up to them and you want to be a coward, fine. If that makes your life easier, fine. But they're not gonna leave me be regardless. And even now, it doesn't even bother me now. Now I just collect evidence. You know what I'm saying? So when this lady came, the day after that I was taken out of the ARD program, you see the community advocate, Kristen Cooper, right? She came with another officer and she's like, you've experienced a lot of, telling me, not asking me if I've experienced trauma. Oh, you've experienced a lot of trauma. What are you basing that on? If they called the cop based on their paranoia of me possibly reacting to the organized mobbing, what are you basing trauma on if you don't believe me? Because if you don't believe in organized mobbing, you don't believe that I'm going through trauma based on organized mobbing, right? This is what I'm saying. They say things themselves to tell on themselves, right? I never met the woman before then, right? Z Hung trying to play both sides, right? He's all, I don't think he's crazy. If I felt threatened by him, he wouldn't be here. That's why he's here. I don't feel any threat from him, right? Even the person I stay with, right? He knows I'm not that person, but he also knows he's partaking in the organized mobbing and harassment. And that becomes the problem, right? When I have so much evidence that that once you look at it, you have no choice but to accept it as that, which is why they had to immediately go to the mental health thing, right? I've told the police multiple times. Every time they've called the police on me, it's been more about the other people, right? Somebody got scared if I said something, right? If I was recording them while they was harassing me and I said something, they call the police because they're paranoid and afraid, knowing that I'm not going to, well, they don't know that, honestly. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what people are going to do, right? I didn't know they was going to organize mob and harass me, but they did it, right? But it's their own paranoia that's working against them, right? If you want to go to the fact of my doctor participating in this, I got the proof. You want to go to the fact that the police participate in this? I have plenty of videos of them going around, from the community watch years ago. Everywhere that I've been, from Rock Street, from Washington Street to here on Palmer, I had the evidence. If I'm going to say that they've organized mobbing in the workplace, I have the evidence. So it's just like he said, it's so much overwhelming evidence that I already expect for the police, the court, the judge in the courtroom, and any lawyer. This is why I haven't even really looked for another PD, because I'm like, they're not going to help me. I can do it myself, honestly. Only thing I need a PD for is like the political jargon, the politically correct jargon, right? That I don't really care much for. And I expect for them to try to get me to take a deal, right? Which I wouldn't. Or they're just going to wrongfully incarcerate me and they will have to suffer. I promise you, God will make them suffer the consequences, because revenge is for the Lord. It's not for me. I'm just going to court to explain why I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? The police know that every time they give me looks every time I walk into the courthouse, right? I'm not the one who called the cops on me. They are. I didn't go to the police like, oh my gosh, everybody's organized. No, they called the cops on me and I just said, hey, I did this because of this. You know what I'm saying? It's really out of my hands. You know what I'm saying? You could tell me, to just ignore them, but you've made it a legal matter. I didn't go to them to start up the case. They came to me and the case started, right? They made me react, and then they reacted by calling the cops when I reacted. But their crime was bigger than mine. And that's what they didn't take. They was going, oh yeah, we're gonna, right? And that's all a part of what I'm telling them, right? The whole point is to have me incarcerated, to have me institutionalized. That's the point of organized mobbing. When you know the terms, it's easier to defend yourself, right? So the only thing that they can do is just go, okay, Well, you did this, just boom, you're locked up for the 8 years. Because that's what the judge told me. He's like, for this misdemeanor, what I did, I poked the neighbor's tires. I did about $3,000 worth of damage. I'll be honest, because I was poking like two at a time. Like one car, I'm poking both tires. Because when you change your tires, I want you to use your spear and then have to still go change your tire. Yes, I'll admit it. It's in my paperwork that I already admitted to doing what I did. So I don't have a problem telling you. The cops know that and everything. Now it's just about, they called the cops on me again. And it's just about me explaining it, since Ryan wanted to expedite the process of me going to trial. Right? She told me before I wasn't going to trial till after the ARD program on February 24th or something around that date. Right? That would have been in 2024. Once they called the cops on me, they sped up the process to where it's now November 27th of this year. So I'm not going to stress it. You know what I'm saying? I'm aware of these Masons and their scheme and stuff like that. Oh yeah, when they want to get rid of the evidence, kill people, things of that nature. That's the point of all this intimidation tactics and threats. It's not working. God doesn't give you He doesn't give you the spirit of fear. The Lord God doesn't give you the spirit of fear. You know what I'm saying? I got Christ walking with me. I walk in His energy. I follow His footsteps. So I'm not stressing that. It's just a matter of me correcting my wrongs, right? I did react. You know what I'm saying? So I'll deal with the consequences to that. But right after that, because my actions were a consequence of their actions, regardless of what they do, the revelation is going to come and they will suffer a consequence to their action. Just like this person was saying, his next comment was, I respect that. After I told him I'm not worried, I know I can't put my faith in man. I'm just putting my trust and faith in Christ and following His lead. Thank you for your comment and support, and may God bless you. I meant that. I'm not stressing it. You know what I'm saying? I can't put my faith in the court system, right? 1776, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, that was Masons. So why would I expect them to rule for me in the courtroom? Those rules were not meant for black people. We weren't part of that Constitution. They wasn't really meant for us. You know what I'm saying? So I don't listen. Part of the organized mobbing, the reasons why could be a race thing. It could be a religious thing. I fit like literally every category of why one would do this. Have I pissed somebody off and made them jealous or prideful? Probably. I know I pissed off Z Hung when I called him an abomination when he tried to lure me into the woods, and told me he was a homosexual. And I told him, hey, I didn't even just go, oh my gosh, you're gay. I was just like, he asked me, oh, how do you feel about gay people? I don't think much of them. Oh, you don't mind being in the woods with a gay Asian man? No, because I'm not going to let anything happen. Oh, so you never thought about being gay? No, that's a sin. Oh, is it? It's a sin? Yeah, it's in the Bible. The Bible says it's an abomination. That's what I told him. Right? And then I guess he took it and ran with it. Started this crazy nonsense up. But like I said, I'm not worried about it. He will get his just desserts, right? Hey, who wants to have me here so he could feel like he could control me, control my actions and things, try to condition me into conforming? It's not going to happen. This is why I say I can't stay with him no more. It's like, honestly, I just look at him like he's just mentally ill, right? But all of these things that I say, the claims that I say, I know I can back them up. It's literally just going to come down to a matter of they're lying. So if I get arrested and you stop seeing me post videos, that's why. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people know that there's no such thing as a justice system, right? If they get rid of me within this, right, and give me my 8 years, cool. They can get I believe that's part of their script, right? To have me either institutionalized, where I can't interact with society, which is part of isolation. It's on the list of harassment techniques. Or incarcerated, where I'm not when I'm not in open population. I'm in a controlled environment. That is part of their scheme. So I expect these things. Why would I expect to go, yay? I expect victory through Christ, but that's however He plans it. I'm not going to sit there, I'm going to go in the courtroom. I'm going to get the best lawyer. I can't even afford a lawyer right now. I'm looking for a job. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not stressing those things. I'm only going to control what I can control. That's me and my tongue. When I go into the courtroom, I'm just going to tell the truth. If the truth doesn't prevail, that'll let you know the other people know. I'm not talking about targeted individuals because you already know. But that'll let you know that the system is rigged. I already know the system is rigged. Most targeted individuals know the system is rigged. It's for the other people who watch, right? Who could go on my Facebook and within themselves, their brain goes, dang, he does have a lot of evidence. What he's saying makes sense. There's so many people I'm sure who go on my Facebook or who used to go on my Facebook. I'm pretty sure they've limited, who could see my post, what posts they could see and things like that. But if you look on my Facebook, you would be able to tell, like, oh man, they're in deep crap, man. But it would literally just come down to them lying, perjury in the courtroom, them ignoring everything, just like he said. They're not going to take it as proof. That right there is proof. So when that happens, boom, I can say that's unexpected, right? Because my whole thing was noticing the patterns of the conditioning. That's one of the patterns too. Them rejecting everything that you say, them ignoring everything that you say to push their agenda and to push their narrative in order to gaslight you, into believing that you're crazy or that you're a conspiracy theory and that it's all a conspiracy theory, or conspiracy theorist and that it's all a conspiracy theory. I'm already expecting all of these things. This is why I say if it came a matter of checking the cameras and things like that, checking evidence, I would win. In a fair system, I would win. But this is, like I said, the police and people in power. Doctors, lawyers, firefighters, I'm saying, judges and stuff like that. The whole thing is I'm going to court actually so I can see it all the way through. Okay, prove me right that all of these judges and things are Masons and things like that. This is the learning curve for me. Even if I have to, whatever consequence, I already gave it up to God and said, you know what, whatever he needs to do with me, the Lord can do with me. Right? I'll suffer his consequence. I'll suffer his persecution because he's the judge and the jury. Right? I'm just going to see, okay, how does this process go? How is the judge going to brush this off? How are the police going to tell their lies in court? Right? How are the witnesses and things like that going to tell their lies? That's what I'm going for. That's it. So, you don't got to tell me much. I already know these things. I got the evidence. It's just a matter of the justice